Welcome to another video. Today we're playing going second in ranked with Mermails. Now Mermail's pretty strong going first, but it can be pretty strong going second as well. Now we're up against Prank Kids, probably Prank Kid Adventure. This is pretty much the #1 top tier deck, and we have no interaction. We got a Kaiju, but otherwise we don't have any hand traps, so our opponent is free to wombo combo the whole way. There's nothing we can do. So I'm gonna show off how you can crush your enemies when they're playing meta, going second with a rogue deck, with Mermails. Maybe one day Mermails will be a top tier #1 deck. It gets a little bit more support. While our opponent's setting up, why don't you click that subscribe button, give the channel a like. That way we get notified of new videos. Looks like our opponent's almost done. They're getting their adventure package online. Once that's all set up, we'll be ready to go. I'll have the deck list at the end of the video if you want to see how Mermails are looking right now. Alright, opponent is done. Now, going second, your key is to look at your opponent's board, see what interaction they have. Opponent obviously has the Battle Butler. Battle Butler is a once per turn quick effect, wipe our entire field, Raigeki. Also got the Griffin Rider, once per turn Omni Negate. That's gonna negate any effect that we try to do. Opponent also has Bow Wow. Bow Wow's quick effect can tribute itself to target 2 Prank Kids in the graveyard, and then it makes his Prank Kids not able to be destroyed by card effects this turn. So those are the effects we have to worry about. Potentially hand traps in the hand as well. So let's try to play around that. First thing we're going to do, try and bait out the hand traps. Let's start with the small world. We don't actually need to switch our hand for anything. Opponent's taking the bait, using the Griffin Rider to negate. We're happy to see this. That's one negate down. Alright. Now we're going to get rid of our opponent's hand. Let's take a look at their hand here. Opponent does not have any hand traps, and very interestingly did not set the Crossout or the Call by the Grave. I am guessing they were worried they get blown out by Feather Duster effect. So interesting that they kept those in hand. We actually don't really want to banish anything here, but on our choice, it's less likely our opponent's going to be able to use Crossout against our deck, since we're playing different decks, so he won't be able to cross out our monsters. But the Call by the Grave can banish stuff from our graveyard. So let's get rid of the Crossout. We're going to make him discard that last card. Gonna search for the Diva now. Now let's get rid of his Battle Butler. Opponent is able to make his monsters not be destroyed by card effects, but we don't need card effects to destroy his board. We're going to just smash over it. Let's get the Prince. Opponent's going to activate this effect. Return his Battle Butler to the extra deck. Add a card to hand, which we're going to make him discard. And made his board indestructible. That is a-okay. Let's do our #1 combo here. Get our Moulin Glacia. Make the Hulk Fibrax. With Hulk Fibrax on field, we have 5 water monsters in graveyard. Let's make him discard those 2 cards from his hand. Get out of here. Roxy's and the Call by the Grave are gone. Now we're going to go Rordon. Now I know you get mad whenever I do this, but Konami says it's fair. You can comment if you don't think it's fair, but you'll be complaining to Konami, not me, alright? Let's make the Despot. Search for the O-Lion. And this is just textbook. This is textbook. From the O-Line, we make the Denglong. Get ourselves our counter trap. The counter trap with Denglong is key. Now, I doubted at first if this was worth the effort, but I am a believer now. Denglong, counter trap, worth it. Let's set the 9 pillars at the end of our turn. Make the Cupid Pitch. Cupid Pitch going to increase the level, go to level 5. Synchro into Adamant Spirit Risen Dragite. Now, I always say, you have 2 options here. You can make the Dragite, or you can make the Borreload. And right now, I don't think Borreload is a good choice. Our opponent has some monster effects, but most of their effects are spells, and Borreload can just keep negating. Can negate 3 times, but Dragite can negate spell effects over and over and over again. Also, Borreload destroys the spells that it negates. Dragite destroys the spells that it negates. Borreload does not, just negates the effect. So Dragite is going to deal with his field a little bit better. That's why I made the Dragite here. Alright, let's keep going. Gonna burn our opponent for 800, get the Nemesis Corridor, unbanish our Jet Synchron. Important to use Jet Synchron for this combo. And we get the Thunder Dragon Colossus. Colossus gonna stop him from adding cards to hand. That does turn off the Fateful Adventure. Let's destroy his key pieces here. All of his Prank Kids. Prank Kids are gone. Gonna stop our opponent from doing link plays in their next turn. Opponent does get their cross out, but not really anything they can cross out here. Let's see what the opponent's got. Opponent gonna try and bounce our 9 pillars. Not gonna have that. We're gonna destroy with a Dragate, and opponent is gonna try and droplet us, sending our Kaiju to the graveyard to prevent us from activating monster effects. Now, this is a weakness of the other board that we make. If you watch my other videos, there's a board we make with more monsters and no 9 pillars, but that board would have got wrecked by this droplet, because droplet negates our monster effects, and droplet cannot be responded to by monster effects. But counter trap does not care. Counter trap priority supersedes all, and we can negate that droplet. Our board is not negated. Colossus is still online. He will not be able to add monsters to his hand by search effects. He gets his Dracobek back on the field, but that does not matter. An opponent sees the writing on the wall, and he is done. And that is how you wreck the #1 ranked deck, going second with Mermails. Now, I'm not done. We got more games. I'm going to show you some more games going second. Go check those out, and I'll have the full deck list at the end of the video. All right, let's get going. All right, we're still going second. Luckily, this time we got some interaction. We got Ash, we got Imperm. Our opponent is doing the adventure package now. Key trick: if you play adventure, do not negate the Water Enchantress. They always have right in hand. If you negate the Water Enchantress, they'll play the right from hand. Guaranteed. The actual correct place to negate is on the activation of the effect of the Fateful Adventurer's Search for the, not the Dracobek, but the Griffin Rider. Now, you got to pay attention to this card. When you normal summon a monster, it searches, and you can activate it to search. So you got to make sure not to negate the effect that activates when they summon a monster. So we're going to negate the effect to search for the Griffin Rider, prevent them from having that negate. Opponent is playing Zodiacs. They're going into Trident. Going to be able to pop, quick effect pop. They also got 4 other cards in hand. A little bit worried about hand traps. Zodiac famous for playing 90% hand traps. Back to our turn. Same as last game, we're going to try and get their negates out of line. So let's start by negating the Trident, and then let's try and bait an Ash with Small World. Opponent does not take the bait. They're not reacting. So we're going to add an Ash to hand in case they're hiding a Max C. Now, I should have shown you that. So you can actually use... Where is it? You can use Small World to add Ash Blossom to your hand. Now, if you're curious how I did that, I have a guide you can check in my videos. If you search for Small World Guide, I'll show you how to use Small World. Let's activate the Prince. And opponent, they know they're done. They know they're done for. They must have had nothing in hand. All right, let's do one more game. All right, we're going second one more time. All we got is an Ash Blossom. Opponent's doing the Adventure Engine again. Hey, you're going to see a lot of this, but I taught you what to negate, so you know what to negate. Opponent, activating Faithful from hand, activating the Rate. Now, don't negate this. Don't negate it now. This is the effect from the normal summon of a monster. He's searching for the equip spell. That is fine. This is the effect you negate, the search. Alright, search for the Griffin Rider. So, we're going to stop our opponent from getting that negate. Griffin Rider is negated. Opponent sent 1 card, passing us. Must have been a bit of a bricky hand. Opponent activating a Max C. Luckily, we top decked into Call by the Grave. Yeah, Miyugi style. Gonna banish that Max C. Do not want to let our opponent draw a billion cards. And now we got a pretty sweet combo, because we got Teus Dragoons. Let's Teus. Discard the Dragoons. Teus gonna summon itself, search for a level 4 Mermail Abyss Pike. Dragoons is going to search for an Atlantean Prince. And now we normal summon the Pike. Discarding the Prince. Pike going to search for a level 3. We can get a Minstrel, but we could also get Gen X Undyne. Prince going to special summon the Dragoons. Keep in mind, if you're playing this deck, you got to have a lot of level 3 water monsters to do this combo. If you don't have a level 3 water monster, the Pike will not activate to discard. Use those 2 level 4s to make a Bahamut Shark. Detach the Dragoons to make a Toad. Dragoons detaching from RXZ is going to search for the Moon Glacia. Link off into a Coral Anemone, and now we got exactly 5 water monsters in graveyard. We're going to make our opponent discard that last card from their hand. It's a Haquero. Very interesting. Opponent is playing Eldritch Adventure. Prince going to get summoning. send Dragoons, add a heavy to hand. Dragoon's going to search. An opponent is done. We were going to get Abyss Teus or Abyss Megalo and start smashing our opponent after doing some synchro summoning. But opponent is done. They do not want to see it. All right. Well, that was pretty good. That was pretty good games. Let's show off the deck list. All right, here is the current Mermail deck list that I've been playing. You saw it go off in that gameplay. It's powerful. It's powerful going first. It's powerful going second. You can negate your opponent's effects. You can make your opponent sad. You can kaiju your opponent's board. Now, Small World is a card I consider running more of because the ability to transform any card into any other card is just amazing. You actually can search for Gameciel with the Small World. So if your opponent has a big board and they choose not to negate your Small World, you search for a kaiju, smoosh their monsters, and take away their negates. In the extra deck, we got a lot of pretty good cards here. We got the Auroradon combo. It's fair and balanced. We also got Formula Synchron, another tag out target for our Hulk of Fibrax if we end up with a level 8 on field and we want to go into Baron on our opponent's turn. Something to keep in mind that you can do. Not sure how I feel about having this and the Denglong, since they're both targets for Hulky to tag out into. Might be better to take out Formula and put in something else we can go into after we've used Hulk of Fibrax. Worth considering, but this version of the deck's been doing pretty well, so I'm still happy with it. Alright, hope you liked today's video. Let me know down in the comments what sort of video you want to see next, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a good night.